Hello, hello, hello again. This is Mike from mysolarhome.us, and our next video is on going solar for your home and what's the best way to go solar. Again, we're talking about home solar systems, either on the roof or on the ground. And this is the third video in my series. The first is your home a good candidate for solar panels? The second video is on how much money solar will actually save you. This one's on the best way to go solar. And the fourth and the last in the series is about how to choose the solar panels and inverters for your home solar system. Of course, I'd be delighted if you subscribe to my channel. Click on the logo at the bottom of the right. So without further ado, let's get started on the different options for going solar for your home and which option is the best way for you to go solar. Now, there are three ways in which you can go solar. Two involve purchasing the solar system. One is a straight purchase known as a cash purchase. The second way is a finance purchase. And the third is the solar lease or the solar PPA. They're essentially both the same. We'll talk about them. So let's look at the three options. The purchase option is the most savings over the long term. So let's look at the purchase option. Obviously, it's an ownership option. You have to make an upfront investment, and the investment is big for solar. It stretch anywhere from $12,000 to $60,000. Could be slightly less, could be slightly more. Obviously, since you're paying cash, there are no monthly payments, there's no term of loan or anything. You've got a choice of equipment, and if you're buying solar from a top-notch vendor, and there are a number of websites like Energy Sage who put you in touch with the best vendors in your location, you will get the best in warranties, which are in the region of 25 years. Now, we're going to talk about the savings associated with each of these three options a little later in the video. So hang on. For now, let's look at the second option, which is the financed option. The financed option is not too different from the purchase option. You're basically taking a loan to buy the solar system. The cost is the same, between 12 to 60,000, depending on how many panels, etc. There is another video in my series where I actually show you how many panels you'll need. But for now, it's a good ballpark. You obviously, if you take a loan, there'll be a monthly payment, and those monthly payments can range from $125 to $600 a month, depending on the size of your system. Loan terms go from 5 years to 15 years and flavors in between. The warranty terms are the same. The choice of equipment is yours. You're buying the system. You get all the incentives. The savings are yours. And like I said, we'll be talking about that shortly. Now let's look at the third option, which is the solar lease or the solar PPA option. Now this solar lease or PPA, different from the purchase and the finance in terms of the ownership is not yours, it's owned by the financing or the solar company. But unlike these two options, there's no upfront investment. And mind you, there's no upfront investment in the financed option too, because you're taking a loan, so there's nothing to pay upfront, but you'd have a monthly loan payment. It's the same for the solar lease, the PPA. The difference between the lease and the PPA is that in the lease, your monthly payments are fixed through the 12 months of the year. In the PPA, the payments are variable. You'll pay more in summer and less in winter, but essentially you end up paying the same amount through the year. So it basically boils down to the same thing. You're paying the same amount of money over 12 months. So your monthly payments, depending on which option you take, could be, like I said, between 125 and 600. Now, term for most leases and PPAs are in the region of 20 to 25 years. So it's a one long commitment that you're going to make. Somebody else is going to own the system. They're going to be up on your roof. You don't own them. You won't have any of the benefits associated with them, like tax credits, solar incentives, etc., which we'll talk about shortly. And of course, you have no choice what kind of warranty, choice of equipment, all of that is left to the solar company. So let's look at the savings from all these three different options. Let's start with purchase. Now, the direct cash purchase is the option with the most savings for you over the long term. You'll have a big investment upfront for sure, but you start getting the benefits immediately, and there are three different types of benefits which we talked about in an earlier video too. Number one is the electric savings. Your electric bill, if you're paying $100 a month on average or 200 a month, whatever you're paying right now, if you're able to adequately size the system and put enough panels in your roof, that electric bill is going to go down to close to zero. So in my table, I mentioned savings from 100 to 500, but you can put in whatever number you like there, but that's basically your new electric bill is going to be something like $5 to $10 if you're able to put the panels up. Number two, you have savings from tax credits. And an FYI, I've talked about all these in great detail in another video on this series. You can check that out for all these different options and what kind of savings you make. But it's 26% of what you paid for the solar system. That's going to come back to you within a year. The third thing as a purchaser of the system is the state incentives. If you're lucky enough to be in a state which has got solar renewable energy credits or SRECs, you're going to get income from that. Be anywhere from $50 to $500 a month. And I mean income on top of those electricity savings. Big money is available from the state incentives. There are some incentives where you get some money back towards the purchase of your system, $500 to $5,000 a month, which is the one-time incentives. Like I said, check out the earlier video to see what you could qualify for. So over the long term, your savings keep increasing. Your home value obviously also increases because you put solar in your home. Now, the difference between purchase and finance is very little. The only thing is you don't have an upfront investment. As a result, you have a monthly payment that you have to make. So in terms of the benefits, it's exactly the same as in the purchased option. You get the same tax credits, same SREC income. You just have a monthly payment, which is now offset by your electric savings and your SREC income. So it usually works out well that the amount you have to pay per month for your finance solar system is more than offset by your savings in solar and by the amount that you get from your incentives and state incentives. Many states you end up actually making money every month. And that brings us to our final option, the solar lease and the PPA. These options are what we call rental options. You don't own the system. As a result, the savings are the least in this. You get a new electric bill after going solar, whether you do the solar lease route or you go the solar PPA route. Your electric bill from your utility company goes down. It'll go down to $5 or $10. And at the same time, you'll start getting a new electric bill from your solar company, which is the lease bill or the PPA bill. Usually the difference between what you pay to your old electric company and what you're now going to pay to the solar company is in the region of about 30%. But you have a long-term commitment and you get savings, you get immediate savings. They're small, not as big as the purchase of the finance savings, but you get them over the long term. So now which option is really best for you? So if you look at it from the perspective of total savings over the long term, and I'm talking about 15 to 20 years, the purchase and the financed option give you the most savings, 90% and 60% respectively. And the reason is because you get all those tax credits, you get the solar incentives from the state like the SRECs, and of course your electric bill savings. So the purchase option and the financed option, they're good for new homeowners or for homeowners who are going to be in their home for a significant period of time because the savings they accrue over time. And the lease PPA option are great for people who are looking to just save money. They have maybe a fixed income, also for retired folks, because you get immediate savings. There's no upfront investment, but it's a long-term commitment. That concludes this video. I hope you stick around for the next in this series, and we'll take you through using solar panels and inverters. So please subscribe to my channel, clicking on the logo at the bottom right. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. See you around.